Thanks, Lisa. With me, Dave, Cormack and Julia Whaipooti. I'm going to bring you in, David. Gee, this is something approaching a bloodbath, really, isn't it, on the big picture numbers? Labour at 50, Greens at 8%. Seat-wise, what does that give us? 75 seats to the centre-left.
Yeah, that is a crushing evening for the right, and really it couldn't happen to a nicer group of people, to see this sort of result. It seems like we might have seen some shy Green voters in the polling, because at the moment they're well ahead, same with Labour, and National and ACT are polling a collective total of what we thought National was going to get. So I've never seen anything like this, and it's just a delight.
Trying to at least have some semblance of objectivity. Oh, no, don't worry about it. If you look at some of the seats, it's indicative, isn't it? I mean, last time I had a quick look, and some of those seats we talked about, Northcote, Whanganui, Wairarapa, East Coast and Nelson, National all behind.
Yeah, and I think that's really damning, to see Nick Smith be 2,000 votes behind, and he's a really established senior member of the National Caucus, it just goes to show how repellent they've become to the country. The campaign they've run has just been something that people can't get behind, can't get excited about.
Yeah, let's bring people up to date with Nelson. I'm not sure whether we can get the Nelson graphic on, but I'll tell you anyway if you're just listening to pick this up, because Nick Smith, obviously a long-standing and senior member of the National Party, he ain't going to get back in on the list. And at the moment, with, 45% of the vote counted, and he's behind by about 3,000 votes there. So you've got Rachel Boyack with 12,700 odd of the votes in that seat, and Nick Smith at about 9,800. So that's a really big hammer blow for National. And even a seat like Northcote, certainly in play at this time. I guess that's what happens to you when the tide goes out and you're looking in the mid-20s, right?
Well, Northcote's looking quite interesting, because you got the likes of, for Labour, Shannon Halbert, who's a seasoned campaigner, but he's also not inside, and then up against Dan Bidwell, who I don't know is particularly necessarily one of the...
Well, he won the by-election, didn't he?
Yeah.
And against Shannon Halbert, but he's not winning so far tonight. He's about 300 odd votes behind in Northcote, so a lot of those national MPs in quite a bit of difficulty. And if we go big picture back to some of the party votes there, those of you who are watching on the screen will see the number in yellow there with ACT at 7.7. I don't know, I was going to say, David, that they might be disappointed with that, but hey, he was a one-man band till recently, so it depends on where you start from, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And also there is a bit of concern at maybe some of the calibre of the people that could come in if they did poll quite high. I've spoken to people in ACT who are a bit worried that some of the 9, 10, 11 party members might be a bit more unhinged than what we're used to. And so they're probably a lot more comfortable around that mark. But to see the Greens poll ahead of ACT in a night where Labour is just utterly dominating is a really significant moment, because historically the Greens have done well when Labour's struggled, and tonight we're seeing both parties do well. Yeah,
and it's a clear indication that we're shifting to the left in a significant way, where the ideas of transformation, there's a mandate. We're heading towards a mandate that will require something to actually happen on the left when the government's formed, which is looking quite likely left. It's just about a matter of chopping the numbers.
Oh, absolutely. And let's come back to New Zealand first, because they are still less than halfway there. This late surge that Winston Peters talked about, and a lot of people saying, oh, well, look, he polls better on the day. And what are we at, guys? How much of the party vote have we got counted? Oh, 10%, okay. So 10% for you, those of you listening on the radio, 10% in, which is, these are starting to get quite substantial numbers, and you'll note that those numbers have held fairly steady actually since we were first madly hitting the refresh button in the first few minutes of the broadcast this morning. It's now 13% of the vote returned, so these are big dumps of those advance voters coming in, and can you quite say that he's not going to make it?
We're pretty much in his Poroaki right now. This is a fair.
This is a Pōwaiwai.
It's not looking like they're not going to be in. It'd be a shock if they were, but actually we're saying goodbye now.
Does that surprise you? Because, I mean, they had some people of some substance. I mean, Shane Jones, Ron Mark, these people have been ministers of the Crown. They had the PGF at their disposal, a $3 billion fund. They had Tracy Martin, who was pretty strong and pretty credible as a minister.
If you've got a $3 billion slush fund and you still only get 2.3%, then I think that speaks to your own party's incompetence.
Hey, it's a good point. Let's have a look, and we'll just do this on the fly. Someone might be able to help me out, but let's have a look at Northland, because that was the only other hope, right? So let's have a look. No, he's in third place.
Yeah, no chance.
In Northland, and things not looking good there. Matt King is the national incumbent.
Willow was coming in close behind that, and it looks like the Labour Party vote potentially will take over National up there this round, so that would be something to watch.
And just squeezing in there on the graphic for those of you who are watching it, the New Conservative Party at 1.5%. They seem to be the one. I thought you might be gutted about that, Julia. I guess you'd expect them at around that kind of level. I think I saw some polls saying 2%, but some of us have been predicting a big wasted vote, but it's not that big really, is it, at the moment? You've got New Zealand First out at 2.3, and you've got New Conservatives who would be out on those numbers as well. So they would be wasted votes and redistributed. So let's pick back up on that later on and go back to Lisa.